Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. If this is your first time watching my content regarding halal mortgages, stop. First, watch Halal Mortgages 101 and the diminishing musharaka halal mortgage versus interest mortgage, the fraud. Most likely, you're probably going to come across fake diminishing musharakas when seeking a halal home financing option. So it's better for you to get educated on that, inshallah. I pray Allah Azza wa Jal protects you from being fooled into a regular interest mortgage when you're genuinely out there seeking a halal home financing option for you and your family. The Arabic word for rent is Ijara. And there's a whole fake halal mortgage scam around it that unfortunately has persisted for possibly 2 decades or more now. And I myself was a victim of it, so I know quite well what it's all about. You approach a company thinking you will get no interest halal home financing. They tell you that they're a third-party Sharia-compliant solutions company that have formal agreements with the banks, lenders, and other financial institutions, including pension funds, to create a rent-to-own and Ijara Halal mortgage arrangement using the bank's money and the trust. The truth is, they have no agreements like that with any banks whatsoever, and it's all a straight up lie. Now, there is a real Ijara Halal mortgage process, by the way, that you can even get a good example of if you go onto the Dubai Islamic Bank's website right now. It's so nice to see 2.59% profit rate from a legitimate Islamic bank, right? And I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easier for the Muslims to get those same type of financing facilities at a lower affordable cost like everybody else, especially the conventional mortgage rates that we essentially compare to. For the sake of this example, I want you to imagine yourself, a person living in North America or wherever in the Western world, getting this scam of a halal mortgage or becoming victim to. So from your point of view, their process goes like this. You're told in an in-person presentation or over the phone how their mortgage is halal, that using a trust, this company creates a rent-to-own agreement using the bank's money, that the title ownership of the property belongs to the trust and not you. So get this, you pay the trust and the trust pays the bank, but you created the trust in the first place. You're the direct beneficiary of the trust and you control the trust, but the trust is paying the bank from an account, not under the trust's name, but a checking account which is created under your name. Doesn't that mean that you're paying you to pay the bank for giving you the loan for a rental arrangement that you created with yourself while still having the loan from the bank being completely separate from the trust? More on this insanity later. Give you a very short opinion of mine. This is essentially Islamic financing, or an attempt, a really terrible attempt at making a transaction look halal in form, but in substance it's straight up haram because you still have a completely conventional interest-based loan with a traditional bank. Anyways, moving on. To get you started, you submit your usual financial documents, which get sent off to a regular mortgage broker who determines your affordability. Literally no different than you going to TD or CIBC or Chase Bank or, think of any conventional bank in your country, of your affordability. So what price range of a home you can purchase with your down payment. After you get your numbers and say that, okay, I can afford $500,000 or $1 million home, for example, you then go out and you make an offer on a property that you're thinking is the best property for you. It's the perfect home for you and your family. You're emotionally attached and you're doing it guilt-free because you're thinking you're getting real halal home financing. Putting a deposit of $50,000 to $100,000 or more on a home you think you're going to become a homeowner of, and you're giving this money to the home seller, and the money is going to sit in their real estate brokerage's trust account. This is the norm, when you're making an offer on a property. So when the offer is no longer conditional, meaning you can no longer back out of the deal with the home seller and your deposit money is gone, in other words, when you're really, really stuck and you need that halal financing now to close the deal with the seller and take possession of the property, or you're going to suffer financial losses. I mean, you could get sued for damages from the home seller for not closing and fulfilling the contract that you signed with the home seller in good faith. So anyways, this fake halal mortgage company will now send you a mortgage commitment letter from the local bank, along with a single page of their so-called rental/ijara commitment letter with the exact same numbers as the interest docs. Only difference is that on their commitment letter, the word interest is replaced with the word profit/lease rate. So by this point, you'd ask, why is the commitment letter that you're signing saying 3.89% interest calculated semi-annually on a 5-year fixed term amortized over 25 years? Because that's classic compounding interest, by the way. Because you thought that this entire rental/ijara halal mortgage company, which is supposed to have arrangements with the conventional financial institutions to such an extent that you would not be signing interest mortgage documents in the first place. Their excuses are usually two. One, our government's federal laws state that the rate of profit in any financial deal must be stated as interest. But guys, there's absolutely no such law like that. And if you say to them, okay, show me that law, they'll never be able to produce it properly. It won't be authentic. The second one is that the interest mortgage will magically become halal because you signed third-party any documentation changing the overall contract or structure of the agreement and the traditional mortgage. Maybe it would have if the bank knew about those so-called trust documents that you're signing, but they don't, because you have a separate agreement with the bank, which is a loan-based agreement, and the profit is being made on that loan, right? It's not being made on the lease. You can't go on the side and basically create a trust and create all these corporate structures to create a fictitious lease, but the bank has no idea about it whatsoever. Now, at the lawyer's office, you sign one set of docs, which is completely regular interest mortgage documents through and through. And the second set is the so-called Ijara rental trust documents, which never get registered at land titles with the property. The bank that funded the whole deal has no idea about the rent-to-own agreement you just created with yourself, by the way. The title ownership is in your name and not the trust name, which supposedly owns the property and is supposed to be renting it to you. The company claims that if you cannot make a payment for the mortgage, they will step in and help you with that, right? Really driving home the lie that they have a contractual understanding with the banks to afford you some compassion when you're really financially struggling or you're just down. They don't. It's all a lie. So here's what's happening. To convince you that you're getting a halal mortgage, you're signing trust documents which fool you. You sign a fake lease between yourself and the trust you just created, and your actual mortgage lender has no idea about any of this whatsoever. So what's really happening here? What's all this legal wordplay and these corporate structures and this trust and this blah, blah, blah? Who are you really agreeing to all of this with at the end of the day? The simple answer is, and I love saying it like this, you yourself and you. You're the one who created the trust. You're the beneficiary of the trust and the manager of the trust. While you have the loan from the bank, which is completely separate, the trust has no relation to your property and the bank loan security registered. The title of the property is never held by the trust like the company claims, nor is the trust ever a registered owner of the property. All they're doing is charging you $2,500 to $3,000 fee for documentation that's never been viewed by the lender you're getting the entire mortgage from. Even the monthly payment from the trust to the mortgage lender isn't from an actual trust bank account. It's from any other ordinary checking account that you open and is under your name. Because according to the fake halal mortgage companies, you're the suckers who don't know the difference between a regular bank checking account and a trust account. Seriously. When you submit your financial information to get approved for their version of a halal mortgage, they're sending it off to the very mortgage brokers to get you qualified for the very interest mortgage that you've been avoiding all along from some douchebag across Canada, specifically Montreal. You know who I'm talking about. That's really illegal in the real estate industry, right? We call it bird dog fees, and you can end up losing your license for it. So any real estate agent that is, promoting this fake halal mortgage scheme and is giving their portion of the commission to this fake halal mortgage company just so he can get real estate deals, feel free to file a complaint for any of these so-called real estate agents who are assisting the deception of the Muslims, that saying to you that, hey, we have a halal mortgage process for you and I can connect you with this fake halal mortgage Ijara whatever company, essentially just selling a regular interest mortgage. Which is, look, in this country, purchasing an interest mortgage, which the religion may say is haram, unfortunately, it's still legal in the country. You're free to do whatever you want, right? There's no compulsion indeed, not a problem. So getting an interest mortgage in this country or any of these countries in today's world is not illegal, not a problem. Misrepresentation is illegal, right? So the Muslim community should not be misrepresented to such a high degree that you're being told that, oh, something is religiously compliant with your faith when it's a traditional interest mortgage. And unfortunately, no one's really calling it out on it because you yourself, unfortunately, you don't have enough knowledge to go ahead and specifically list the issues that are essentially being used against you. So what's happening with all these extra docs that you signed? Nothing. Nothing except you getting a regular interest mortgage and paying to be fooled by signing a stack of papers with words on it. Collecting dust. Worthless. Try burning it. It wouldn't make a difference whatsoever. This so-called halal arrangement is worse than a regular interest mortgage because number one, it's a deception and it bloody costs more. And as far as your mortgage lender is concerned, my friend, you have a regular interest mortgage and these guys or whatever you did as a third party don't exist. And if they found out, they would literally just be like, you know what? Cancel the mortgage, give us our money back, sell your house, do it quick, we don't care. And then they're gonna basically bombard you with fees and administration costs for breaking the mortgage early. So they're gonna hit you with all that expense as well. Any of these fake halal mortgage companies, right, before you start dealing with them, ask them these two questions that you should be asking any fake halal mortgage company or any company that basically claims that they have a financial arrangement with a bank. Go like this. If I take your company's name to the major banks in Canada, USA, Australia, UK, wherever you are, and contacted that financial institution's fraud and investigations department, because all of them have them, by the way, and ask them, does your Ijara company actually provide halal financing? Do you guys have any cooperation or, level of understanding at any level of the bank whatsoever? What will they say after their investigation? And I think we know how that's gonna go, but do it. Ask that questions and immediately report these sort of companies to the banks who are essentially, taking advantage of the Muslims. And number two, am I signing interest mortgage documents? If the answer is yes, or they're dancing around the answer while you're asking them a direct question, I promise you, just walk away, right? And straight up report them. There is no point for you to continue whatsoever with these type of people. A real halal mortgage company or a real Islamic financing company is gonna be very straight with you in terms of whatever questions you may have. You're not gonna get an answer that you kind of go like, oh wait, I don't really understand it and it was doubtful. No, you shouldn't have any doubts whatsoever. All right, that's it for this video. Please share this video with as many people as possible, especially those that are considering getting a halal mortgage. Last thing we want is for them to be fooled and to be paying more money for a regular interest mortgage if that's basically what they were going to end up getting in the first place. Not an endorsement to go get a regular interest mortgage. Please like the video and share it as much as possible. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon to be notified of my future upcoming videos. Spread the words. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward you and protect you. Until the next one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.